I should say, by Rowan Campbell, Natalie Amel, Cassandra Kriarakis, Caitlin Roerda, Kylie Stars, Zoe Wolfers, Simon Bollard, Julia Gibson, Samantha Hargreaves, Emma Lazenby, and Victoria Slater, followed by Sarah Van Dam in that order on the rail. Now 12 athletes to the rail, and any other ones start here at the bottom along the blue band. Oh, so they decided to send her up to the rail also. So ladies, once again, this is a 40-lap race. The race counter down here to the left. So don't forget, you must stay together on this neutralized lap. And only when you hear it'll either be a whistle or a pistol firing. We'll tell you in a second. Once you hear that whistle or that pistol fire, the race is on. Every 10 laps, there'll be sprint for points, 5, 3, 2, and 1, as much as on the last lap at the finale. And pay attention also, we'll be giving out points throughout the race. So ladies, once you hear the pistol, that means the race is on. So once again, stay together please, restez ensemble et lorsque vous allez entendre le coup du pistolet, c'est le début de la course. Bonne course, 40 tours. So don't be startled everybody, there will be a pistol firing here as they come by, so just make sure if you have sensitive ears to plug them, as it will be fired in a few seconds. Race is on, la course débute. So the rider, not necessarily the rider crossing the line first, that wins the race, but the rider who has the most points at the end of the race. And we'll give you that. And you'll see this race has a tendency to change sometimes as it develops. Also, apart from the 5, 3, 2, and 1 points given out to the top 4 every sprint and at the finale, if a rider or a group of riders are to lap the main pack, they pick up 20 points. If riders are lapped by the main pack, you lose 20 points. But don't worry, we'll keep you well in tune with what's going on in this race as we have 8 more laps before our first sprint. 7 laps now as they go, so 7 laps away from our first sprint for points. À 7 tours de notre premier sprint intermédiaire. Sprint qui donne 5 points pour une première place, 4 points pour une deuxième, pardon, 3 points pour une deuxième, 2 points pour une troisième et 1 point pour une quatrième. Et si une ou des coureuses double le peloton, c'est 20 points dans la banque pour eux. So it'll be an interesting race for people to follow also at home on the web, and we'll try to keep you listening on the web in tune also with the developments here in this points race, which I remind you, it's not necessarily the first rider over the line, it is the rider who has the most points. Hence the name points race. Very interesting. And you'll see that the rankings will mutate drastically sometimes. As we're coming now to 5 laps from our first sprint, à 5 tours de notre premier sprint intermédiaire pour des points. So leading the group right now, 3:06, Samantha Hargreaves. Also right up there, not mistaken, that is one of the riders from Callisto. Kali Stars or Zoe Wolford. Now things are starting to speed up. As we know, we're 3 laps away. Now everybody's going to start to test each other. And leading the group, as we saw, once again, Caitlin Roerda. Roerda in the lead right now. And also what the riders want to do is to thin out the group so there's less competition possible, or the least competition possible when it comes to the sprint. Sprinters, natural sprinters will make their way to the front as they don't want to take off from too far behind, and the non-natural sprinters, well, they're going to try to peel off the front and get rid of the impending danger that represents these sprinters. Sprint for points on the next lap. A sprint for points on the next lap. Sprint pour des points au prochain tour. Archibald now looking strong as she did in the mass sprints, and she's going to really put some burn here on the group. Voilà qui s'amène aussi, Van Dam in that group. So here they come for the first sprint points. Archibald will pick up 5. Looking to be Van Dam, maybe with a 3, 2 for Voilà, and we'll see who picks up that 1 point. And we'll give you the standings after 10 laps of 40. So things will taper off here a bit, as you'll see. Alors ça va se temporiser ici, évidemment, après le sprint. Les dames qui vont reprendre leurs esprits. So we have 5 points, 5 points for Archibald, 3 points, 3 points for Van Dam, 2 points, 2 points pour Boilard, 1 point, 1 point for Roerda. And now, 2 riders attempting the breakaway. Well, don't forget, if they lap the field, that's 20 points. So it's bibs number 310 and 311, Slater and Stars. The peloton not reacting, so this could be a very interesting move. If they come around and lap that pack, these 2 ladies get 20 points. Will the peloton let them go? Will the main group let them get off the front and continue? Not much reaction from behind here, as Van Dam and Boilard leading the group. They may just keep them in check. There's half a lap now, 125 meters or a little bit less. And now I thought the pack was barreling down, and they seem to have let up a bit. And they are going to have just about a half a lap. But the pack may just keep it that way. Let them run themselves out a bit. Yep, and already we can see here one of the riders not able to keep the pace. 3:11 deciding Kylie Stars not to try to make this one happen. She'll let her partner take off there. And now driving the pack is our points leader right now, Elizabeth Archibald. Sarah Van Dam right there with her. Still trying to motor off the front. That is bib 310, Victoria Slater. But when you're working alone out on the track, it's a lot of output, exertion. The pack is working together. These ladies are profiting from the drafting. But she's now picked up a bit of distance. They may let her get off the front. Stars is going to be reeled in pretty soon. And the pack also knowing that they're 3 laps away from the next sprint. So what's going on here in the pack is they're 2 away from the sprint, I should say, as we're on the laps of our leader right here. So the pack just are starting to strategize and get ready for the point sprint. But there goes Archibald, still now 1 lap out. Can she keep this up? That's going to put a bit of hurt on Slater out there. So Archibald followed by Van Dam. Rauda, right up there. I'll sprint for points on the next lap. And now there's a little bit of traffic here at the front of the group. But now, once again, 3:09 taking the lead here. Caitlin is moving off the front, and it's going to be, for sure here, 5 points going to bib number 310, Victoria Slater. And then Rauda will pick up 3 points, looking to be Archbold 2 and Boilard 1. We'll give that official count very soon and tally it up after 20 laps. Midway point in the race, à mi-parcours. So here are our points now after our second intermediate sprint. 5 points for Slater, 3 points for Rauda, 2 points for Archbold, and 1 point for Boilard, 1 point. Total points right now, Elizabeth Archbold, 7, 7. Victoria Slater, 5, 5. Caitlin Rauda, 4, 4. Boilard Simone, 3, 3. And Sarah Van Dam, 3, 3. That is our tally after our second intermediate sprint. And looking to still be going strong right there, number 309, Caitlin Rauda. As she now sits third in the overall points ranking. Now can Caitlin make her way back to the pack? That is the question. That's worth 20 points for her if that happens. And now another breakaway as we have an acceleration at the front of the pack. Gibson provoking with Van Dam and with Boilard. And Julia Gibson looking to pick up her first points in this race. Still 125 meter, half a lap up for Caitlin Rauda. And Archbold up to her usual antics as she takes up the front of the group. Still really, you can see she's testing some of these other girls as they're coming up to the next sprint. She wants to put a bit more distance between her and Slater. Only 2 points separate her first place and second. So Rauda still at the front there with now 2 laps to go before our next intermediate sprint. And the peloton is really tapered here, getting ready for our next group bunch sprint as Boilard has taken to the front. Alors Simone qui s'installe au devant avec Emma Lazenby. Sprint for points on the next lap. And now this is where it's really going to start to move here in the peloton, the main group. As Archbold coming up over the top. Van Dam looking over her shoulder, seeing that she's their powerful small rider is Elizabeth Archbold. She's going to go pick up some precious points as Rauda just picked up 5 here behind us. Archbold is going to try to pick up as many as she can. That will be 3 left for her. Van Dam will be picking up 2 and Boilard 1. And we'll tally that up very soon here after 30 laps. 3/4 of the race completed here. Only 2 more sprints left. I should say 1 more sprint left. The final sprint. So here we are, the last point garnering. Caitlin Rauda picked up 5-5. Elizabeth Archbold 3-3. Sarah Van Dam picking up 2-2. Simone Boilard 1. So our tally right now, Elizabeth Archbold has 10 points, leading only Caitlin Rorda by 1 point as she has 9-9. Victoria Slater 5-5. Sarah Van Dam 5-5. Simone Boilard 4-4. Don't forget, it's not necessarily the first athlete over the line. It is the athlete that has the most points. And right now, the young lady leading the main group there is our leader, but very, very close once again between her and the lady that's in the breakaway, and she has been over the last few laps. And if she was to catch this group, it would be a race over it. She would pick up 20 points, but I don't think the group's going to let her do that, as only 6 more laps left. And some of the riders off the front there talking to each other, saying, hey, we can't let her come back. But she's, Caitlin Rorda's not giving up here. I see Van down there getting ready. Cassandra Kyriakis also talking at the front, making plans for this final sprint that's going to happen in now 5 laps. 5 tours à compléter. And Elizabeth Archbold knows that she's really going to have to motor here, but the way Caitlin Rorda is riding, this is going to be hard to take her out. So if Caitlin's able to stay off the front here, this race is in the pocket for her. If she hits the 5 points here, that will be 14 for her, and the best Archbold could do would be 3, and that would leave her with 13 in second place. And they're running out of pine, my friends, as Caitlin Rorda is putting on a show here. She's been out for the longest time. The peloton has not reacted fast enough, and within the next 2 laps, she's going to win this race. Some smart racing on her part. So Caitlin Rorda is 1 lap away from sealing the deal here in this U17 points race. She's now 125 meters from a Canadian championship title. And now the peloton speeding up. And please welcome, she'll be your U17 points race winner and Canadian champion, Caitlin Rorda. And now the sprint behind. Boilard going to go try and get those 3 points to maybe climb in the standings here. Attention, ce sera Boilard pour 3 for 3, Van Dam for 2, and Gibson picking up 1 point. But right there, she will end up here with a very precious reward. 14 points in the win for NCCH's Caitlin Rorda. So here's our final tally. Caitlin Rorda, 14 points, 14 points. Elizabeth Archbold, 10-10. Simone Boilard, 7-7. Sarah Van Dam, 7-7. Victoria Slater, 5-5. And Julie Gibson, 1-1. And these are unofficial results once again. So for our next race, we're going to invite the athletes up very soon, and we invite also our helpers, our holders. We're going to need some holders here for the U17 points race. On a besoin des teneurs pour les messieurs cadets. So we're going to be setting things up here for our U17 points race. Starting at the blue line, we'll have Oliver Campbell, Justin Correa, Antoine Dalterio, Joël Domingue, Axel Froner, Eric Inkster, Ronan Johnson, Dawson McDonald, Ethan Runzuk, Ethan Sitlington, and Base Wagner. Starting up at the rail, we'll have Giuseppe Caron, John Cummings, Tyler Davies, Sidney Flajol-Bray, Philippe Gelina, Jake Jensen, Kobe Liberty, Daniel Nordeman da Silva, Riley Pickrow, Quinn Story, and Aiden Zeversinuk.